class is now open. Hey, I'm getting ready to paint the edge of the doors, okay? And I'm gonna just use this, my little mini roller. I'm not gonna have my extension pole on. I don't have any paint on here. This is just a dry run. And when I put the paint on here, I don't want to put it on so thick and press so hard on this where it's going to build up an edge on the face of the door here and on the back side of the door. Do you see what I mean? And that's another reason why I use 1/4 inch nap roller instead of like a 3/8 nap roller. Can you see if I use a 3/8 or 1/2 inch as I'm going like this, as you're pressing in, the back side of the roller on this edge that's full of paint is gonna get on the edge of the door and moved over this way, maybe a 1/16 of an inch or so. Okay? And so once I start painting this, I'm gonna paint up like here. I'll get you back here a little bit further so you can see kind of what I'm gonna do, because see, I got the door just laid up against the wall like that, up off the ground at the bottom, and as I'm painting this, I'm just gonna get my hand up here, and I'm just gonna pull this way like that, so I can do this from about eye level or so, or maybe a little lower, and then I'm gonna do this on the side here, get it nice, okay? Maybe down to about like that, and then I'm gonna take the same roller and I'm gonna wipe off on the back like that, on the edge of this. And I'm gonna do that on the front of it too. That way, if there is any little buildup there, this is gonna wipe it off. Do you see? Like that. After I get the front done, then I can set the door back down carefully like that, and then I can do the rest. And as I'm doing the rest, see, then I can take the back and I can roll it up this way. See, I can only roll it up so far before I hit this wall. So when I do this edge from the top down, I'll probably go down maybe to the door latch, let's say. Okay, that. Roll it on the back, roll it on the front carefully, like that. Then I can get a little bit more paint on my roller. Okay, and then I can do from here on down, you know, like that. And that's why I got it up off of the craft paper with my screws. And then I can take the back side of this, and I can roll it on the front like that, or I can take it on the back like this, see? And just carefully hit that edge. Kind of at, not a 45, maybe a 30-degree angle, so that if there is any buildup on the back side, I'm gonna get it. Okay? And then I'm gonna hit this edge. If you don't do that, you look at some of your doors at your house, you might see a buildup ridge of paint along here if somebody has repainted these doors 1 or 2 times, and you'll say, son of a gun, there is a buildup there. And then if you get ready to paint your doors, you don't want to leave that buildup. You then want to sand that off with your paddle sander like I have, and get rid of that. That's why these edges, I had to paint these edges with the paintbrush, because I had sanded them all the way down to the wood. And the reason why I sanded them all the way down to the wood is because all of the edges on this door were built up because somebody had painted this door before, and they left that edge because they probably went like that, and then they just left it and walked away. Or they did this, and then it dried, and then they painted the face, and then that edge was still there all the way down. So see, as I'm putting it on, I don't want to put it on so thick and whoosh, like this, and get it on there. That's going to build my edge up even more. That's why I'm going to take a light touch, you know, nice and easy, but get a full body paint on there, and then I can gently get those edges the best that I can. Do you see what I mean? And that's why I'm not going to hold it like that. I'm just going to take it like that and run it down like that, all the way down. Before before I paint the front. When I get ready to paint this front, of course I'm going to put my extension pole on. You know, don't just paint your whole door just like this, okay? You're going to be bending back and forth, up and down off of this. You're going to get paint. It's going to fly up on here. And it's so much easier to take your paint roller extension, just a broom handle. Now I can stand there, I can dip in with my paint, I can do the front. Get that like I showed you before, and trust me, you'll get good at it the more you use your paint roller, okay? And I don't know, you know, watch the previous video where I showed how to install the paint with the paint roller on a door like this and how I painted on there. Trust me, it comes out really good. And if you think, hey, phooey on a 4-inch roller, I'll use a 6-inch roller. Well, that's all fine and dandy. If you want to use a 6-inch roller, you could probably get this whole section all in one go. But you're going to probably miss a little bit, and then you're still going to have to do 2 passes on it. And when you're using this 4-inch roller, trust me, it actually goes, you know, pretty good. I've got really good control with this 4-inch roller, and I don't know, it just works out really good. I've not tried it with the 6-inch roller. I do have a 6-inch mini roller, but I don't, you know, normally when I get those, it's for painting walls and stuff, and I very seldom get a 1/4-inch nap roller for a 6-inch mini roller. Like if I'm doing ceilings and walls, I'll get a 6-inch mini roller that's got 3/4-inch nap. See, here we go. See here? This one's actually a 6.5 by 3/4-inch nap. There's no way under this green earth that I would use something like this on a door. Okay, first off, it's too thick. You're going to get too much paint on there. It's going to be hard to get nice even on there, and you're going to put more texture on that door than you would a 1/4-inch nap roller. You see what I mean? So this 3/4 inch I would use for walls and ceilings that have spray texture knocked down on the wall and stuff. Kind of like here. I'll show you the garage. I haven't painted it yet, but see all the texture on there. This is called spray texture knockdown because they sprayed on there, and then as it was drying, they knocked it down with a wide broad knife, and then they probably sanded it, and then that gives you the flat bit on the top, and it kind of cleans it up too. Okay, and so that's when I would use the 3/4-inch nap. And in fact, they have rollers up to 1.25 inches. And see, I've got a big one for walls and stuff. See this one here? Look, 1.25 inch nap, and that's for my 9-inch roller cover. I use that for walls. I don't, believe it or not, I don't use anything like that for ceilings anymore. Usually for my ceilings, I go with my 6-inch roller, and I can do that all day long above my head, not spilling hardly, and it's easier to work my extension poles and stuff because the frame isn't as heavy. And when you get this full of paint and you get it up over your head and you get it on a high extension roller, extension pole, and you try to go back and forth, try it. Tell me how you like it. Then try using a 6-inch. Oh man, I can use 6-inch. In fact, I did 6-inch. I used a 6-inch mini roller, the 3/4-inch nap roller, for all of the ceilings in the condo, all of them, and even way up high. Look how high this ceiling is up here. Way up there. All of that way up there I did with the 6-inch mini roller. Came out looking primo too. And same thing in this little bedroom. 6-inch mini roller, baby. 6-inch mini roller. It's the way to go for ceilings. And look how high this ceiling is. You know, it goes, that's about 10 feet. This is about 15 feet or so, way up there. And the ceiling was a different color from before, and I had to put 2 coats of white paint up there, ceiling flat paint I used to cover, because it wasn't covering in one coat. If it was already white and I was using another white to clean it up, I probably could have gone with just 1 coat. But all of these ceilings, I went ahead and put 2 coats. In fact, this little section here, I did the same color as the walls, because it's going up the wall, you know, right there, just that little section. I made it the same color as the walls, and the walls were an eggshell finish. So that section is eggshell. This section is flat up here. But then in the bathrooms, I use semi-gloss. I use semi-gloss paint up here at the top to make it shiny and to make it so that the light bounces off a little bit better than had I not had semi-gloss paint up there. If I did the flat paint, I could have gotten away in this bathroom to do the flat paint on the ceiling, because there's no shower in here and there's no hot steam. But in the bathrooms upstairs, yes, I'm going to go with the semi-gloss ceilings. Okay, but this video really, this little segment clip really wasn't about how to paint ceilings and walls. But see, you just got an insight of why you need to watch the entire video. Every time I make something, like I say, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to say next. You know what I mean? And I'm just saying, if you want to learn how to do things, this channel is what you need, because it's for beginners, intermediates, and even slightly moderate advanced on certain things. And I go through more detail than most people, I think. But I figure the more I talk, the more you learn. Some people think the more I talk, the more it puts them to sleep. But hey, my videos aren't for everybody, okay? But if you want to learn how to save money around your house, my videos are for you. Go and just check it out. You can go to my main YouTube channel page and click on playlists. Then you can scroll through the many topics that I have, the many playlists. I got over 50 playlists on my YouTube channel. It shows you how to do all kinds of stuff around the house, okay? To save you money. Hey, I'm not Joe Blow the electrician, or Joe Blow the painter, or Joe Blow the plumber. But by golly, the things that I do, I could show you how to do certain things, and honey-do lists, and certain repairs around your house that maybe you wouldn't even have thought you could do. But you watch my videos and say, hey, this guy, he's not really a professional at anything, but when he gets done, it seems like he always gets whatever he's doing fixed, repaired, or painted good, or whatever it is that he's doing. It seems sometimes I may do certain things unorthodox. And, you know, sometimes I'll do painting where maybe a professional painter may say, he doesn't know what he's talking about. But son of a gun, when I get done with my painting project, it looks, you wouldn't know that an average Joe did the painting for the doors, the frames, the baseboards, the ceilings, the window stools, all that kind of stuff. You wouldn't even know that I wasn't a professional painter, or caulking that I do. And same thing with my sheetrock drywall repairs. You know, I do more coats and I explain more, and I may do things a little bit different than a sheetrocker, but son of a gun, when I get done with my patches, they look really good. And I've got all those videos on my channel too, okay? So enough of that. I'm about ready to start painting this door. Stick around for more tips and more savings. That's all I got for this time, but I'll be back with more videos. Well, I guess it's time to do some more painting.